Everything that we have belongs to God. Our time, our talents, our treasures. What that means to you and to me is that since we're the caretakers of these entrusted goods, that we need to care for them based on what the owner of those goods would have us to do. My name is Tim Russell, and I am the co-author of the upcoming book, The Good Steward. I am a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I'm the owner of a wealth management firm, a Christian wealth management firm here in Pennsylvania. And we get to do stewardship seminars and ministry all across the country, which gets me so excited to talk about stewardship with you today. Everything that we have has been entrusted to us by the King, and we have an obligation, a privilege, and the joy of taking all that He's entrusted to us and using it to further His ends and His purposes. Poor stewardship has some pretty devastating impacts. So it shows up in a lot of ways, right? We tend to be more worried. My credit card balances are increasing and my bills outflow is going to increase, and maybe the inflow is not what it needs to be, and worry, anxiety can really start to peak. One of the leading causes of marital strife and tension is money fights. Poor stewardship ripples out to the church. Because we're so self-focused, because we're so busy working, trying to pay the bills, we're not able to serve. We certainly don't have the money to give, and we don't have the perspective to trust God with all of our lives, so our sanctification is harmed, and because of that, in the body of Christ, the body is harmed. I often hear some sentiment that stewardship is really just, it's all about giving, it's all about tithing, and as long as I tithe, I'm a good steward. But here's the thing, tithing is not 100% of stewardship. Tithing is 10% of stewardship. Stewardship is not about what we do with the money that we give to the church. It's about what we do with all that God has entrusted to us. God is our first priority, and because of that, we should be giving and funding the local church. So if that's our first priority, is there a second, a third, a fourth? Are there bigger pictures that God has in mind for how we use the money that God has entrusted to us? The book actually lays out the 5 biblical financial priorities that are critical for Christians to understand and apply to their life, their spending, and their prioritization to be able to meet their needs today, to fund the kingdom, and to do the great work that God has called us to do in this earth. But it doesn't just stop there. How do these principles then apply to the area of saving and investing? How do we save and invest in a way that honors God, honors our convictions, and yet helps us to actually still take the proverbial wisdom about saving and preparing for the future seriously without trusting in our own wisdom to be the solution to all of our problems? We're not the ultimate owner. What we do with it matters, but ultimately here, God is the owner. Therefore, I have to consider the use of those funds to honor and to glorify Him, to serve Him. When we use our money, when we see our role as the caretaker and we invest it into the things that matter, here's the beauty. Our worry goes down because our identity and our hopes and future are not dependent on this pile of money here. And our joy goes up because as we invest in the kingdom, as we invest in making the world a better place, we can help build the kingdom. So worry can go down, joy can go up, and our sense of satisfaction, hope, and confidence for the future is strengthened when we recognize that we're the caretaker rather than the owner. This book helps to thread the needle between trust God and be responsible, and helps Christians figure out how to live in a way that balances both of those beautiful priorities. So if you want to grow in your role as a steward and want to find more joy and contentment in all that God has entrusted to you, I'd encourage you to pick up a copy of the book, The Good Steward, today. Read it, apply it to your lives, and share it with others, and may God be pleased to strengthen His church, to build families, and to see His kingdom come.